went on opposite sides here, and the power they can get with side laning, the Azir can set up Sundis turrets to look for objective control. Even mid lane control can be very powerful there if you have the Herald to get the mid turret early.
A lot of trading down here in the bottom lane, but at the end of the day, Nautilus into Leona is you're hooking a target that's basically unkillable. Now Career keeps going in onto the Corki. This isn't looking good. He is going to have to flash away. Does use his Ignite. It's a lot of trade back potential, but now the flash in onto Smash, who also went too far. DuDu has his flash too, and with the barrier coming in, DuDu getting super low, but it's just going to be first blood going over to Peter. Career desperate for something back, and they even give the kill to DuDu. 2-0 for the DNS bottom. It's hard. It's got to be a little bit more measured, as you say.
It's hard to tell if my, like, you know, fantasy world scenario is what happened. We might have another skirmish here, so I'll get back to it later. Peter is take a bit of damage.
It's level 6 though to Career's level 5, and Clozer's here first. That's a flash away from Lucid already. Lots of poke damage though coming out from Smash, and now ShowMaker gets on over. They get the kill onto Peter, but Pyosik is going to get away. Clozer as well on very little mana, or rather health. They do survive, though, ends up being a 1-for-1, but Smash does pick up a kill.
Peter held his ultimate really late in the fight.
Lucid.
Yeah, put it on the Lucid there at the last possible second because he had the Xin Zhao ultimate running. Over here, DuDu.
Yeah, DuDu has Peter around with him as well, and some needles on top of it. Siwoo has to flash away from the scissors. As Ignite utilized by Career, I think just kind of to push him away and scare him off a little bit. But
here, this ward is going to be quite valuable for Siwoo. Has a jungler coming up.
Yeah, the top dives for Pyosik, sometimes a little bit iffy. This time it will be as well, as Lucid is here. And Pyosik going to be slowed down. The needles, though, will prevent them from following. And also, importantly, Clozer here as the knockback does come in. And Lucid, super low, goes into his ult and gets a rock to the face as Clozer on the roam makes a big play.
ShowMaker is going to get some plate gold, but actually DuDu is there to answer the push. So looks like nothing too crazy going to happen for this Azir in the mid lane, and they're going for a follow-up dive.
Yeah, they might as well. The depth charge is here for Peter. Siwoo doesn't have his ult or flash. It's just free food, and Peter's able to tank it as well.
These Gatling guns with Valkyrie, especially when the support isn't here. I'm free to use Valk without any punish. Career wants to come over and punish, but can't.
They're looking for Career now, actually, who does have his flash and Eclipse. Takes a big chunk of damage, but now Clozer looking to get into the fight. They're going to get the flash out of Career for their troubles, looking for more as Lucid going to get ulted and knocked back into the depth charge. He doesn't get to play the game as the Xin Zhao is tanking up quite a bit, actually, with his ult, and down will go Clozer as Smash doing quite a lot in this scrappy skirmish, and now DuDu tries to go in on a ShowMaker and just dies to him, and it's only Pyosik left alive against 3, and eventually he will just die to Ignite. And DNS, I was just saying, one of the ways you throw this early lead is by being too over-aggressive.
A little long. Suddenly, Dplus in the driver's seat.
Yeah, especially at the Xin Zhao. Like, he's one of the best junglers at absorbing pressure. And now we're just fighting again. As Clozer is going to have to flash away. And DuDu says, hey, how about I start up this dragon? He is going to have to Valkyrie out of here. And it looks like Peter is not going to be in the pit for very long. As down he will go, ShowMaker collects another kill, and Lucid hits level 11. As Dplus KIA are catapulting into the lead.
And the Herald. Of course, not Grubs, but Herald.
Yeah.
Which can do some serious damage on its own.
Yeah, I think they wanted to try to collapse into the fight and then realized that they were being collapsed on faster. And then they just tried to abandon ship, and it looked very silly. As now we're going in. Again, this is Lucid, level 11, an item and a half. Doesn't really care about too much, but has less of his team around this time. So will survive for quite a long time, but does eventually go down. Pyosik picks up the kill.
I don't know if it's worth if you lose 2 turrets, though.
No.
I think it's absolutely worth. Like, Lucid might be, if we were doing player of the game, like, he might be the leader at 0-3-5 right now.
I think, you know, you got to pull the trigger now. You drop the Rift Herald, take the Dragon, get that on its cooldown timer so you can, you know, pressure. Instead, they're just going to try to push mid, and Lucid's going to die. Yeah, I don't know. Career gonna hit the wall as well as DuDu's going in, nearly takes out Smash as the flash on in from Peter to block the Mystic shot. And he's gonna die instead, but now we got a Gwen in the party as Smash goes down to the Gwen. It's a massive shutdown for DuDu. And all of a sudden, one big mistake for DK, and they didn't even get the Dragon.
I'm not also sure how I'll have to watch it back, how DuDu got the faster rotation into
ShowMaker and Siwoo, so they couldn't do the dragon. So Dplus KIA actually going to get Cloud Soul points, and obviously feels very good on this team. And also taking away from DNS feels great, away from the Gwen specifically. And just stacking up some more stats for the team.
It's a great position for D+. It could have been much better, though, as Pyosik...
Goodbye.
He's zooming.
It was nice knowing you.
It's really interesting that Pyosik is the only one with a gold lead, because Xinjiao's ultimate doesn't care about gold.
Peter has a gold lead,
okay,
too.
all right.
Yeah, Siwoo on the run here, has flash. They're trying to get that, but not going to overcommit. Clozer has to use his flash to get away. And now kind of an awkward spot as ShowMaker and Siwoo are considering going back in.
Get back in the game, so I can understand the caution, but maybe a little bit too passive here, D+.
Yeah, got to make some plays. Looks like they're
listening.
They were thinking about it. They were thinking about making a plays. That's the first step for making a play.
Yeah, identify the play and then execute.
Now Peter, oh, they're trying to collapse on this actually with a TP. A lot of DK is around, but this Gwen is going to be in a great spot, and Dplus KIA kind of just on the run as Lucid, once again, just the punching bag. He does not have flash. Down he will go, and they just say, hey, there's a Baron here.Maybe we can take it. No. Pyosik nearly dies, and they certainly can't just take the Baron as much as Clozer would like to.
He's leaving.
Like, Siwoo just sitting in the side lane farming and PvEing is actually getting a lot more for the team and for himself.
However, you will eventually have to use that gold to get the power from it. And I think that might be the timing here. As the dragon spawns, they do have that set up a little bit slower than I expected, as here's the engage.
Yeah, once again, it's DNS who are pulling the trigger, and Dplus KIA are just running away. Career's just dead. I mean, Flash and Ignite gone, and he's just dead.
And it's just Nautilus ult. Like, they still have the Vi ultimate available here.
They're trying to fight for this. I'm not sure they're in a position to really do that, although a lot of damage does go into Peter. Pyosik going to go on a magical journey of his own and just kind of die. Meanwhile, Siwoo's going 1v3, takes him out. They get on top of Clozer as well, and DuDu doesn't quite have the damage, gets pushed over the wall. deokdam, though, goes back in and just dies, and the 4v5 goes handily.
DuDu's like not able to join.
Yeah. I don't know. DK just getting the Baron, by the way.
Yeah. I think that might have been the game-losing fight for DNS. That Pyosik does occasionally make decision-making and judgment errors in these types of games.
Yeah, I think his aggressiveness paid off early on in the game, but yeah, Clozer doesn't really exist. But yeah, one false maneuver on Vi, and you're gonna get punished for it. Now, objective bounty does go over to DuDu, but Dplus KIA don't really care about that, just pushing with the Baron as much as they can. And DuDu says, I'm going to go even further. I'm thinking about this bottom inner for their second turret of the game, but the two inhibitors looks like that was kind of a foregone conclusion.
It's Ezreal, so he's kind of safe.
Yeah.
He's not really very easy to kill. Zonia's and Flash for ShowMaker, so I think this composition that...
I think DuDu probably going to have to stop the top wave here soon.
Yeah, you'll have to back and then TP back to the fight.
Yeah, going to go in onto Career. Not a big surprise there. deokdam avoiding the public execution, and now they're going in onto Siwoo, but that's not a good target as Pyosik goes into his GA, and Career survives. Peter going to go down, and so should Pyosik follow. DuDu just out of the fight, not really able to do much, taking a 1v1 against ShowMaker, while the rest of the team just dies, although deokdam did get 2 kills somehow.
The inhibitors respawn.
But eventually, DuDu will also go down. It's a quadra kill for the Ezreal, but it's not going to be the Penta. And with a giant wave in the top lane and a lost fight, Dplus KIA will just win game 1.
Yeah, the Ezreal comes over here as the inhibitors respawn awkwardly. So these minions will be very sad for a moment until Smash fixes that. And now the game will end. Bit of a passive one from Dplus. I think in a lot of ways played not to lose rather than to play to win quickly. But slow and steady wins the race. Everyone knows the story. Also can polymorph a Yone or a Kalista in a team fight and render them relatively useless.
Or even a Sejuani that overextends, you know. Pyosik can drop there.
That ends up being a really positive result for Dplus, even though Smash had to flash.
Siwoo, okay, the Harpoon's going to miss. The flash on in is not going to be enough, so Siwoo just kind of laughs at him and runs away. Career is going to get hands shook, and a 3-man root comes in from Smash now as Pyosik. Yeah, the flash after the fact always feels bad. That's first blood given over to Smash already.
Rise rotation up to the top lane.
Yeah, this is the faker. And they're gonna just go for it under the turret, looking for the knockback, and there it is. Equalizer comes down, no flash available, as he used it to try to take down Siwoo earlier. The burn is there, but it's not enough. And that's how you punish a guy.
Outside of his realm warp, which I don't think he cares. He got value out of it.
Oh, Career definitely going down here. No flash on him. And even though Pyosik is not level 6, it's still a very nice gank because they're looking for more. We got a Jarvan coming on up. The bailout is there, and deokdam has nowhere to go. He just, or rather, Smash has nowhere to go. deokdam picks up the double kill. And all of a sudden, DNS turning it around in the bottom lane.
Now, Smash may have mind control, and it's the culture.
Yeah. It's all about the culture as well. As, you know, Rise Group, Fries Group.
No, that's not good for anybody.
I just thought maybe I'd bring it up. You know, I know we don't like to talk about it, but Ocean Soul does exist. Lucid going in. He's up a level. Pyosik kind of half health, and now deokdam. They're just going to go all in onto Lucid, it looks like, and try to play around that. Massive value on the wild growth, but again, no real follow-up. deokdam, very awkward spot for him. No ults. They're just going to have to go forward. That's what this comp does, and now ShowMaker has to flash the wall as the pressure is there. And DNS actually make a good play down on the bottom side.
Yeah, ends up being
all that.
You know, this is a pretty awkward spot for Dplus, so they're a little bit out of time, and I think this might just be the double. However,
just walk forward and press D. Outplayed DNS. So we do have the Moonlight Vigil coming through. It just hits the Sejuani.
Jarvan,
it's Ocean Soul.
Yeah, well, so at least they feel better. Try to start up this Herald, and because they have Kalista as a secondary smite here, I think it's just a no-go. Although Lucid has stolen objectives before.
This TP is a bit late. I mean, you're not really going to be able to do much. Double knockup comes in. The Sejuani ult gets some good value on top of the equalizer. Lucid again the target for this DNS squad. They're not getting onto the important ones, and now Peter getting pretty low. DuDu behind enemy lines. Peter is just going to have to flash the wall. In goes Lucid trying to punish this one. The Realm Warp as well, and deokdam goes down to the auto of career. And so they got the Rift Herald, but 2 kills to go
pretty
to
good for them too, because it is Ocean Soul, as we've talked about quite a bit, and I think this is the one way in for DNS. So if they just look at this and they go, that's a lot of vision that we don't have. I don't really like that. I'm just going to say no. Feels pretty good. She was going top lane. He doesn't have teleport, so it was like Dplus are pretending like they're going to contest, but are actually just going to chill, which might be correct.
Yeah.
They're going to wait for an opportunity because Lucid is still Jarvan.
I don't trust the majority of our teams to make complicated macro calls, to be completely frank, because sometimes they will just fight.
For a last chance for a team fight. Dplus like, nah, I don't really want to lose, so.
Trying to go all out on a DuDu under the turret, but now we have a Rise on the way, and that turret is not very long for this world. DuDu trying to hold on to his turret. As you see that DNS are trying to get something in mid lane for this. DuDu is buying quite a lot of time, but he will not live. Doesn't look like he'll be taking out Siwoo either, so down he goes to ShowMaker, but DNS did get the mid-tier 1.
It was a good decisive call to push for the turret there, and DuDu does have teleport, so he'll be back on the map right away.
Yeah?
Okay, deokdam, hold on. He says, actually, they could be played through the early spring.
Eventually, as Engage Renata strikes again, and now Pyosik is coming on up here. And she will go down, and that is a shutdown for deokdam. Actually, a nice, healthy amount of gold, and DuDu can come in here and clear this wave.
Doesn't this feel kind of familiar, though, to last game, where we spend everyone to kill someone who takes forever to die, and then Dplus get all the turrets on the other side of the map?
Yeah, I do remember that happening. Just going to ult in as Clozer doing an insane amount of damage, takes out Smash, who just neglects the ability for Clozer to do that.
And maybe a Baron?
Yeah, it's going to try to go for a singular Ocean Drake. Sometimes can be the bane of many a team here in the LCK.
DuDu's angle.
DuDu's got a fantastic equalizer and a catch! Once again, he gets smashed, but this time Smash lives for a very long period of time. He's extremely low. deokdam wants to take him out, and the bailout does not get the value, but Smash is out of the fight. This Cassante doing quite a lot of work, though, on the right side. DuDu full health, though, and it looks like Dplus KIA will have to back away from this one. As maybe DNS just get the dragon after all of that crazy chaos.
Chaos, a near dominant fight for the side of DNS. It's a trade down in kills. But watch it again.
Son.
While Growth comes out, cleanses out, he flashes, kites back, 33 there, heals up a little bit, and he's like, you can't reach, has his caliber out.
Yeah. Trying to make a play here on a deokdam. Renata Glass is there, looking for the bailout, not going to get it. Wild Growth too good. DuDu in a lot of trouble himself, goes golden, but eventually will die. ShowMaker picks up the kill. And just like that, Dplus KIA back in control. They lost the Drake, but it's individual Ocean Drakes. They're fine.
This Baron is, or was, quite a weak one. It's a, Callisto picks up Terminus third, which I think does make a lot of sense, but it means that she doesn't have any survivability. Cannot actually live through the big burst damage when caught in situations like that. And visor button on cooldown, and I think this game, that might have been the moment for Dplus to just completely deny any sort of comeback for DNS. They got the steal away and those last few plays and sides and then the Baron, but now DuDu, let's see.
When have we seen this before? They have been punishing this Rumble so much. First pick Rumble, not getting
Smash is going to be able to use this to hold up.
All right, Peter kind of frontlining, and DuDu might just be the guy who gets punished for it as the Realm Warp gets everybody on top of this. Even the knock up into the Wild Growth, and the front line of DNS is just getting shredded already.
And then Callista needs to have control over objectives, needs to have a massive lead to do anything here. Like, it's like, okay, we lost our Rumble, he did a little bit of damage. What can we do to stop Baron? In truth, the best way, the best damage you can get is that Renata ultimate, having them hit each other for a second. And you don't want to waste that, by the way, that was a joke. And going for the Hail Mary Ocean Soul play as a response is what they're looking for.
Oh, okay, they're gonna catch Lucid here. He doesn't really have a health bar. I'm surprised the Clozer didn't try to ult that, but maybe he would just waste it and then get flashed away from. Callista on the objective, and Lucid can't really get in. It's going to go down to the side of Pyosik. We got TP coming in here as well. Pyosik in the front line.
Cleanse out from Smash. He did absorb that ultimate from Pyosik. And man, Dplus, that was pretty risky. I'm gonna try to go for the fight there as Lucid.
You can get some decent value there, but we'll have to wait and see. Rival Baron power play does come in. Oh, he's gonna catch him once again, but this time the Wild Growth comes in and he just dies. Meanwhile, Career also elects to just die.
He has the hero play.
Wild Growth,
he'll sacrifice himself.
Okay. Did his job. I under a lot of pressure in that he's kind of the free food in this game, so.
He needs to buy time because on the other side of the map, back to relevance in this upcoming fight.
Maybe he can get the Gromp? Like, they're not going to give it to him. That was so close to Smash, who has Cleanse, and Mikhail's. But still, looking for Smash, and Clozer is going to hit it, but again, eventually, the Wild Growth comes in, the follow-up is not there. The Cataclysm actually making a lot of room as deokdam is frontlining, doing a good job. Siwoo very separated from the team. He is going to find deokdam here, but deokdam just flashes away, and the front line, though, of DNS is gone as DuDu goes in, gets actually a lot of value, but with deokdam off of the game, it just means that they have enough, and Smash, he got away from so many of the threats, and he will survive until the very end of this fight. Picks up the triple kill, 15,000 damage in the fight.
15,000 damage in a single team fight. Level 18, 11, 2, and 3.
Expiration date acquired.
Yeah. He knows how to read the back of that milk carton. Didn't panic cleanse Pyosik's ultimate. Didn't mess up anything. And even though the Yone ultimate found the angle, Career was ready to press R. We talked about the Lulu value long ago in draft. And Career, he certainly made good use of it. He did not have the... Pyosik, Peter, tested like they have been tested many times before this tournament with this draft, because the engage has to be crisp. The Jhin is a turn here on the bottom side.
Scuttle, very
Pyosik,
important.
He is not going to be able to get 6 off this, I don't think. It is very close.
Well, They're still going to essentially go all in for it as the binding not going to hit. There's the Galio. Career does not have flash, but he does have a magical journey. Clozer says, we are killing this guy. If it's the last thing I do, is Peter picks up the kill.
He has been quite bloodthirsty, interestingly, which gives a ton of agency to Siwoo if they wanted to continue this play on the bottom side. Lucid flashless, and DNS are going to take their opportunity here to look for Dragon. ShowMaker going to back a little bit low on mana, and will TP into the pit. They're going for this.
Yeah, I mean, as you mentioned, just going to have to try to get the Drake and get out, it looks like. Lucid is in here, but the smite is good from Pyosik. Cycloning just to try to get away. The disengage code comes in, and Lucid gets punished for it. And now Clozer able to bully ShowMaker out of position. They want more. As, you know, we have the TP coming in. Looks like it got interrupted somehow, and now Career is in a lot of trouble. He's going to have to flash, but the follow-up is there and should be very easy. A kill goes over to Pyosik. And this time, DNS, a very solid early lead going their way.
Yeah, last time when they got the kill onto Career, the aggressive play in the first place, but you need to win something on this fight.
Yeah.
Career?
Looks like someone was going for a little ward walk. And unfortunately, the Bard continues to be an issue here for Career. Now DuDu going in onto Siwoo, just trying to bully him as much as possible with the Dominus. This is the potential punish. When you have a Renekton in the lane, he's got Between Worlds, but can it get away from them? As Pyosik's going to go in, there's the Cyclone. The Between Worlds does come out as Pyosik once more going to dodge the Sonic Wave. Continuing to fight as DuDu went back to the wave. But now we got a Galio coming in. And ShowMaker is here as well. As they're going in, they got TP. A very wonky back and forth fight.
It's TP from deokdam. And they're just going to say, well, that's how we secure grubs. That was the plan all along.
We just wanted the grubs. Peter just going to flash and miss everything. Very nice kick does come in. And Tempered Fate, not going to do all too much. Kind of just delays DNS, and deokdam in a rough spot. That's a nice pick. Going over to ShowMaker is now Clozer in a rough spot himself, waiting for that Sonic Wave to come in as, yeah, kind of just living inside the wall there. Not sure what happened. Maybe got bound up.
Yeah, got a little funky there, but coordination a little bit missing on this one for DN. This is on a flank.
Yeah.
This is really frustrating for DNS because they don't have any control.
Okay, they're just going on in. They're going to try to catch deokdam here.
A little bit early, though.
Do, I guess. Going in onto Lucid now, but he is Lee Sin. And we are really sending it. This time they're going to use everything and try to kill the Lee Sin. And I'm not even sure they can, although Lucid kind of runs out of dashes. And he will eventually go down.
I'm not sure what Odin told DNS about Lucid, but they really don't like him today.
The whole day. Especially the Xinjiao game was just ridiculous. Clozer going to be rooted up basically forever. Lots of pick in this DK composition. But they're not going to... thinking about trying to go for Clozer here. A little bit of ticking damage there on the backside, but it's actually a Chemtech Soul.
Overall, ends up being pretty nice. Accomplish that team fight. It was a little bit messy. You got the kill, you got the dragon, but let's play safe.
I mean, I like how they're actually upping the tempo. Their turn is absolutely bonkers. Now, DK, they have a lot of ways to get away from the turn, but, you know, it's been a little bit scary, especially with DNS just kind of losing their mind on every engage. They're throwing everything, and the chicken sink. Chicken sink? I'm thinking about Chicken Little still. It's like still there.
He get back that map control, but they weren't able to hold on to his. Siwoo is actually going to get engaged on.
He has flash, but the stuns are coming through. You can see that they're playing for it. The flash comes out, and Siwoo just barely going to die to the Cyclone. DuDu tanking up the turret perfectly in a nice little set play. They get the Aurora in the side lane. DNS making plays here.
Cannot get access anymore. Siwoo's going to clear this wave, which means he can rejoin. DuDu probably going to take his ult up pretty soon. Peter also with flash and ult, just denying any entry here on the left side.
Yeah.
ShowMaker's out.
Just playing it slow. Is DNS waiting for DK to go in? Look at Siwoo. He's already basically dead. Has to ult away. ShowMaker also half health. And the Renekton just standing there menacingly makes DK have to run away. They want to get some more here as Career just going to flash out of this one. The chains will land on a Peter, but he will absolutely take that trade.
Yeah, Peter's very happy with this. Grabbing another flash from Career. He's just been robbing him all game long. And they get the Dragon, I don't want to say for free, because they earned it through a slow, methodical deny of the entry from ShowMaker, as this is a miss.
Nice try, actually. The kick is going to land on the deokdam, but the Sonic Wave is not, as deokdam still holding onto his flash. Lucid alone in the back line, nobody able to help him. As the TP does come in, at least DK got that away from DNS. But DNS going to have the Rift Herald as well. You mentioned he was holding on to that, and just looking to take out the mid-tier 1.
They really held that Herald forever, but they get so much out of it after getting the Dragon. I gotta give credit to Smash. He hits the root as the kick finishes. Like, he does his job. He's ready for that. But as you mentioned, Lucid's Sonic Wave doesn't hit. They needed that to get the follow-up, to have that extra damage.
Did they just get Baron?
I think so. Unless ShowMaker can make something happen here with Flash and ult on the deokdam, who still has his Flash. He's playing to the backside of Baron, though. And as Chronicler will often tell you, it doesn't do good things for your MR.
Yeah, you can see the Jhin going to open up the curtains here. She was being zoned away, but the Jhin alone is not going to be able to steal this Baron. As the smite comes through, DuDu might have to pay for it. As the Galio looking to help him out. And we have the backs already coming in.
deokdam almost has his TP back. They could actually really turn this if Dplus overextend.
You can see that they're actually considering something, but I think now Clozer getting kicked out might not be enough. The re-engage kind of half-hearted here from the side of DNS. Siwoo might be a little bit of a bonus kill, although Siwoo is gifted the shutdown on the beater. And now we have the golden onto deokdam, who is just looking to aim the long-range missile. Not going to hit there.
Oof, for DNS, that feels what it looks like, but I don't think they're going to with the positioning of DuDu right now with the TP flank. He is wrapping around. They see him, but this is really going to mess up the setup for Dplus. They're going to have to collapse, and they're going to have to collapse quickly.
Yeah, trying to get on top of this Renekton. No easy feat with the Galio coming in. They're going to find, it looks like Smash over there, or no, it's actually ShowMaker in a lot of trouble, and they're just able to CC chain him. And that's going to be the end of the LeBlanc, and maybe just Chemtech Soul over here for DNS.
Career tried his best to try to save him, but now he doesn't have his ultimate either in a 4v5.
Well, now Career's trying to engage. You can feel the desperation here for Dplus KIA. The curtain's about to end on this 4th shot.
Siwoo is the only one who really has agency here, and he's just zoned away.
Well, Lucid tries to go on in. It's just going to be a flip, but the smite is good to Pyosik, and they get the kill on the Lucid. As the walk comes through, and Siwoo is just dead as well. Dplus KIA, this difficult composition is looking very difficult to play, especially from this far behind. And DNS just kind of press all their buttons together and do stuff like that. They take out Career, who didn't have his flash. And now with Chemtech Soul, this game is looking all but theirs.
Unfortunately for Career, I don't know if he's ever really had his flash this game. As Smash is going to be the next target here as they siege the turret. A little bit too far. A bit of a step over the line.
He's getting excited, you know. He's testing his limits a little bit.
Well, I gotta say, that flank from DuDu was pretty massive. That was what forced Dplus to kind of try to kite back and get the collapse onto him, but he's Renekton, he's difficult to kill. But ShowMaker is caught, you know. He was the one trying to set up his own flank, his own aggressive position. He loses that. And he's looking for an aggressive position here as well, a level down on Clozer, with some friends coming over.
I don't think this TP from deokdam... Okay, they're actually full... Okay. Well,
sometimes you send it.
I guess the TP nice setup dive comp when there's not like 17 tools on the enemy team. No Lulu, no Ezreal, none of this, you know, Giga Peel comp from the side of Dplus KIA. It's much more difficult to actually get away from Rakan Wukong, as looks like we're just trying to take the Baron down here. Lots of damage done to deokdam though, as maybe this is where DNS dropped the ball. It's getting pretty close, but the smite is good, and Lucid is just going to be zoned away. Although the kick does go down onto Peter, and they get that kill. Smash looking for a little bit more.
Time to exit.
Yeah. Pyosik pretending that he was a clone, and might just die. I think he has CA though, and the damage is coming through on Career. I think the wallets are just too heavy for DNS, and Dplus KIA desperate to get something after the Baron goes away.
Pyosik hitting, by the way, like every close smite that matters in this game. If so many of these went just a little awry, it would not have Chemtech Soul, would not have the Baron, and DNS get the big win here as he outplays as well with a fake clone. And I think, you know, I was kind of maybe slightly preemptively calling it with the series on our hands moments before, but now it really feels there is just no more in. Peter has unsealed teleport to rejoin for the push to win the game. I mean, there's only 14 seconds to respawn timer here, but when this base opens, it guarantees Elder Prio, and if anybody dies during the siege, DNS can just literally end the game right now.
Yeah.
This is effectively the game-ending play.
It's essentially what Dplus KIA did in game number one.
Flank?
This is a flank that has
Congo
been
line?
seen for ages and ages, so they knew this was coming. Easy chains of corruption go down onto Lucid as he was trying to send the Hail Mary for the ages, but yeah, with the Baron still for a minute and a half, they could just go ahead and take this top inhibitor down, you would think. As Siwoo trying to be relevant here, but not succeeding at that, as they are going to once again bully Career out and smack Dplus in the face with their giant wallets and take them down here in game number 3. Looks like we do have a series on our hands. Better late than never, as DNS, 14,000 gold lead, they will take a Nexus tonight and bring us to a game 4.
And isn't it such a refresh here in this composition? And there are really 2 tools to get on top of the back line, but arguably 3. It depends on how, obviously, the cannon decides to ultimate. Does he
have Pyosik in the pit?
Yeah, Pyosik is ready to challenge this. No ultimates for the supports here.
I mean, he wasn't able to deny the smite, but
Smash attention is real, though.
And Victor loving this 1v1. ShowMaker going in, but guess who's here as well? It is the Nico and the Nafiri. The charm comes in and ShowMaker just dies instead. As now Lucid is just, lone wolf dying to Pyosik. And that's 2 kills over the side of DN. Feel good for them though. A Smash being very annoying on the Ashe.
That's another wave gone, and there's no answer.
Oh, they're going to land the root on a Peter who just throws up the Pop Blossom and says, witness me. DuDu, on the other hand, also not having too much fun against Siwoo here. But it's Sion.
I'm not sure exactly how that... It must have been a large trading pattern that eventually gave him a big enough edge. Smash is ultless, but he is also kind of close by, so Pyosik may want to think twice about this, as he is going to show up. And Pyosik's like, oh, not again.
Just going to try to steal it, not going to get it.
And like the way that bottom side, like the timing.
I guess so.
His ring finger was ready, Valdez. That's where it was going.
Ring finger on W, that's crazy. Shouldn't it be on Q? Dude, do you have your pinky on Q?
I saw as I pressed W with ring. Sometimes. I might be a bit of a psychopath,
that's a bit non-standard, but you are a lefty, so I guess it's par for the course. They're trying to take down DuDu here with pretty much everything, and I think they will be successful. They do take him out, although the Rift Herald will go the way of DNS. Pyosik picks up the eye, and now just has to try to survive with that one. deokdam also in a rough spot, is going to have to flash away, but yeah, no volleys here. Flash forward from Siwoo. Not quite going to be enough damage, though, and now Siwoo kind of in no man's land, but not like they can really punish him.
He's too tanky. He should be able to get out of here no problem. TP to the bottom lane.
Oh, okay. I mean, they're just going to take the Gromp away.
The more time they keep Dplus here, the more value Clozer gets on the opposite side, as Lucid will get this steal away. But Clozer made a very clear choice that he was just going to go straight to sides here. So the cannon agency was there in this fight, sort of. As I thought with the quick cut, we had something happening in live, but the sacrifice for him does end up getting them the Herald. If he didn't flash there, I think they'd feel even better about it.
Yeah. So it looks like Dplus KIA kind of just have to give this Drake away. You see Lucid's hanging around, but just kind of waiting in the lack of vision. DNS going to move forward as a team, though, after the Drake take. And actually a nice little stun on a Lucid who's taken a bunch of residual damage. The arrow comes out, hits nothing. Pyosik just dodging everything.
And Siwoo is getting some alone time here with this turret. Doesn't have TP. This is something that DNS were aware of. And they also got the turret in the bottom side I was mentioning.
Going to be critical here for Clozer. For Clozer and deokdam, really. I mean, we're going to have the cleanse available for DuDu, not the same for Clozer. As ShowMaker, he just doesn't really exist in this game. Like, every lane he goes to, he's just getting bullied, and now he gets stunned up past the Spirit Rush away.
I don't know if that's worth for DuDu, though, because I think he kind of just had him bullied, and he ulted so early that Pyosik couldn't come in and secure the kill. They don't get the flash either.
And now they're just going to ult on the Lucid. They know they have the advantage, and they're going to find this Aatrox as there's the Encore. Doesn't really do anything, as that Nefiri getting so much value, avoiding all the CCs. Slow comes down on a smash, and that's just going to be Rift-Herald into the mid lane turret. DNS are snowballing big time right now.
They really are. This is the kind of win con you want to have here in this mid game.
Yeah, I don't... Okay, well, he's going to TP in, get rooted, and now he's half health again.
He absorbs some of their buttons, so the turret lives. Calculated.
Hashtag worth.
As ShowMaker has been a bit of a punching bag in this one. No other real way to say it, but they're now looking for their own punch back onto this mid turret, but it will be cleared this wave very quickly.
Smash careful.
So the play from DuDu, I don't know if you needed to look for that follow-up Encore, but
yeah,
that's a big win here for DN. The one who was able to push the Ahri away, now controlling this lane, and we'll have a Crystalline Overgrowth to proc to grab the turret. He's looking for a second item here very soon.
So they are set up here on this Dragon, but DNS are not going to let them get this one for free. And already the damage is being done here. Siwoo trying his best to zone away Clozer, not going to be very successful. It goes down to 1 health, and Pyosik is able to get it as they're charging into a Slicing Maelstrom. Generally not the right call. As no stun goes on to DuDu, and now Peter finds the angle from the top side, but the damage follow-up isn't there. As DuDu desperately trying to do something, but he is just backing away, and it looks like DK at least are able to clean up the fight in a big way. And now they're moving towards that Baron.
Yeah, Clozer's E's do a lot of damage, but with this Seraphine, the heals will come through, and even has his heal summoner here, and I think that the damage will largely be blocked, and they can now just take this out. Doesn't have his second item yet, Career, but was very patient.
Okay, we lost that fight, we lost the Baron. We can't force a fight here where DuDu doesn't have any sums, and, you know, they're just having so much pushing power and map control in this game. They're just trying to clear the waves and essentially not die and let the game go away just yet. But that just means that Dplus KIA are going to get this very strong lead now.
Siwoo just needs to mark the cannon, because they didn't have vision between mid and obviously where they're pushing here heavily in the bottom lane. But as long as Cannon can't find that flank angle, I really don't think there's any threat here.
And you can see already a bunch of damage is going to go into Clozer. He's just going to flash away. They don't want to play any part in these team fights right now while the Baron push is going.
Yeah, but that might have been a cannon minion here. Peter?
Okay, Peter gonna go for it, forces a couple of flashes, but might have to pay for it with his life, although Lucid just gets burned down, nobody able to heal him up. As now Pyosik, the only one to get charmed, and ShowMaker just on the run. You can see a lot of damage done to the side of DNS, but they stopped the push for now.
Someone had to pull the trigger, or that inhibitor turret was gonna go, and once it goes, the next wave power levels, it's all about that setup.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Dplus KIA and you've got Sion, Seraphine, as that's going to be a very nice arrow here in Pyosik, who already takes a ton of damage, does go up into the sky. Siwoo desperately trying to ult into him and take out the big dog. He's not going to be successful in doing that, but DuDu kind of in the front line here. They're looking to take him out, trying to block with the clone as well, as DuDu is flying very close to the sun, but he's going to live, as now ShowMaker desperately trying to get on in there, and he will be successful due to not finding the Slicing Maelstrom he was looking for, and it's only Clozer. As waiting for a charm to come through, he is going to hit it, and the slows are going to come through. It looks like Smash will take him down for the triple kill as Dplus take a huge fight.
Despite Peter's best efforts to keep Duckers alive, he goes down, and Dplus 50 seconds on the victor. They think they might have an angle here to look for the end. ShowMaker backs, grabs the bloodletters, and Pyosik here has to do some shenanigans to buy time. I don't think it's going to be enough. Big wave.
He can't get close enough to clear the waves, and Peter on the Nico, he's going to try to land a root, but they just encore and burst him out, and all they have to do is hit the Nexus, and Smash takes one better than that. Looks like Dplus KIA will be moving on to the next round against T1 as they take out DNS.